Hello everyone, my name is Pixlriffs and welcome back to the Minecraft Survival Guide. I hope you guys are having a good day. Today we're starting off having just finished the bamboo farms project over here, and this pillager patrol spawned around this area, and currently they are being a little standoffish. But here is a thing about pillager patrols that I don't think many people have really taken note of yet. They will freeze in place when you are, like, 8 blocks away. In fact, they'll freeze in place when you're even a little bit further away. But a lot of the time, even if they acknowledge that you are there, they will not actually engage with you until you get really, really close. And when you get, like, within 8 blocks, they start to come out and attack you. But up until that point, if you spot them from a distance, it's actually not really that likely that they will come and attack you. So if you keep your distance, there is a chance that you can avoid pillager raids happening this way by not taking out that patrol captain. Now we're going to be spending a little bit more time with pillagers in this episode, actually. I do want to do a little bit more work with these guys, but for now, I think I may as well just take care of these guys who are trespassing on my turf and have a one-by-one, a one-on-one or a one-on, I guess, 6 contest with bow versus crossbow, because I still think bows are the superior weapon, mainly because they can have power enchantments and the infinity enchantment, which means they do not consume arrows. They just end up using the same arrow over and over again. And the power enchantment is kind of a big deal because, of course, that means you can do extra damage with bow shots. Now, crossbows aren't necessarily intended to be a replacement for bows. They are meant to be more of a secondary option, and they have other things that they can do, like they have multi-shot enchantments and piercing enchantments that are intended for multiple targets. Basically, as we've kind of covered before, crossbows are there for crowd control. And so the subject of today's episode is going to be what else we can do with crossbows, and specifically we're going to be taking a look at the adventure advancements here, because there are 3 crossbow advancements that I have yet to achieve. One of them is not even listed here right now because it's currently locked away, but we have Who's the Pillager Now, giving a pillager a taste of their own medicine, which, considering I have shot a pillager with a crossbow before, I presume means killing a pillager with a crossbow. This one here asks you to kill 2 phantoms with a piercing arrow, and there is a third achievement currently hidden from us, which asks you to kill 4 different mobs with 1 piercing arrow. So that means getting the highest level of piercing you can on your crossbow and shooting an arrow through 4 different mobs, which is going to be one heck of a trick shot if we can do it, like, out here in the wild. But I have a way I think we can probably do that with a little bit of redstone magic. But first of all, perhaps most importantly, I'm going to find a cow and dispel this bad omen effect, because I have a villager, a bed, and a workstation at my farmhouse, and I don't really want to trigger a raid there. So the first thing I'm going to do is try and track down a cow that I can milk to get rid of the bad omen. There we go, found ourselves some cows. Let's drink that bucket of milk. Peaceful again. Good. Alright, let's head back to the farmhouse, grab some supplies, get my crossbows, and then let's see about getting these advancements. So I've come back out here to the desert village, which I've been doing a little bit of remodeling of, and is now a thriving little community. You still need to build a few more houses around here if we want to, but I have a few options for additional crossbows in here. I got a few of these from the raid that we took on, so I have a multi-shot crossbow here with Unbreaking 3, I've got one with Quick Charge there as well, and a regular undamaged crossbow that I'm pretty sure I repaired using the grindstone down there. I think those are the ones we've got, but luckily I have brought with me a few spares, because I wanted to demonstrate something with crossbows that, considering the fact that I keep slamming them in terms of their usefulness against stuff like bows, there is actually a really neat trick you can do with crossbows that maybe makes them a slightly more formidable weapon than they at first appear. So let me grab one of these as well. Let's go with the quick charge one just so we can charge it up nice and quickly, hence the name. There we go. I have myself my main crossbow in here with piercing 4 and quick charge 3. This is Quick Draw McGraw, and this is the one that I figured I would be using the most often. I've also got one that I just freshly enchanted with multi-shot and quick charge, as well as Unbreaking 3 and Mending. So that can be our multi-shot bow. Doesn't really have a name yet, but with 9 crossbows in here, we can probably manage a neat little trick after I've been to sleep, because I don't really want to do this at night. And there are beds in these houses, but it doesn't seem like many of the villagers have really claimed those beds yet. Hopefully they end up getting used. I'll probably end up taking out all of the beds that are over here in this community area, but I've really found that having an outdoor area like this means that they are more likely to meet and produce baby villagers in the morning times. When there's like a lot of them clustered together like this, they tend to meet up pretty quickly and get that done. So that's kind of why the villagers aren't really sleeping in their houses right now. Anyway, back to this shulker box of mending crossbows, and back to our principal target over here, the Pillager outpost, because we're not going to trigger another raid today if I can help it. But I figure if we're going to get that advancement for giving a Pillager a taste of its own medicine, we might as well use some of them as target practice. They're not spawning in quite yet because I'm not close enough, but pretty soon we should be able to get up real close to them. And what I figured I would do is show you guys the rapid fire way of firing these crossbows, because if I put each of these in an inventory slot of my hotbar, like so, obviously kind of sacrificing all of the stuff that I had in there, so I probably need to come back to this shulker box pretty quickly afterwards, but we can run up and basically go down the line with the number keys and fire these crossbows off as quickly as possible, because they're all loaded right now. A crossbow can be pre-loaded, meaning that once you've got your arrow in there, it's in there for good and you can switch to other items, unlike a bow where you have to draw back and fire it every time you use it. So in this case, I feel like we might be able to get off a few quick shots on some pillagers down here. Let me see exactly how fast this can be. The trick here is going to be finding one who is not a patrol captain. That one there definitely is, so probably going to skirt around the outsides here and to pick off one of the guys at a distance, just so we don't have to worry about all of his friends coming after me and getting up in my business. So oh, those two are squaring off against each other over there. I thought they were pointing crossbows at each other for a second. I like these guys, though. Much as they have caused me lots of trouble in the past, I really like the design of pillagers, and I think it's pretty cool. Okay, these two have spotted me, so let's try going down the line here. There we go. That's actually happening pretty fast. Yes, so we got the advancement as well. Who's the pillager now? So as you can see, we took out those guys pretty quickly. In fact, I would wager that might even be quicker than doing it with a power 4 bow, like the one that I have in my shulker box over there. I do kind of feel like that's, you know, reliant on you having 9 crossbows in your hotbar at all times, which not everybody is going to want to do. But if you feel like doing a bit of a trick shot kind of situation and you want to get that stuff done in a pinch, it's worth a try. It's certainly a lot of fun walking around with 9 crossbows and unloading them all at once into one of these pillagers. And let me tell you, having that quick charge enchantment really does make a difference. Look at how slow it is to load this crossbow compared to how slow it is to load... Yeah, it's really quite fast when you've got that quick charge enchantment. So thoroughly recommended. Like 100% get that on your crossbows as soon as you possibly can if you plan on using them at all. I also want to have a bit more of a chance to try out the multi-shot crossbows on multiple targets, because I haven't really done much of that, and I think it could be kind of useful to have as a crowd control thing. Like I said, it's a ranged version of the sweep attack that you have with a sword in Java Edition, at least. So let's try and get a couple of these guys aggroed on us. Yes, there we go. Let's see if we can hook in number 3. All right, and now we'll give these guys a taste of their own medicine, because we should be able to hit all 3 of them at once if we can. Oh, it looks like they've attacked their friend here. There we go, perfect. Took out 2 of them at once, and just that last guy to take out. Brilliant. I think at close enough range, you might also end up with all 3 of the arrows hitting a single target. And I wonder if that means if we get right up close to one of these pillagers, we could potentially one-shot them? That's an idea I hadn't really considered. However, I think that might not be the case, because when one arrow hits, they might actually have that brief moment of invincibility, that kind of like hit invincibility that they get, like iframes, basically. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure all 3 of the arrows just hit that guy, and he didn't die outright. I think only one of those arrows is really going to have an effect per target, so probably a lot better for crowd control than they are for individual combat. But in the meantime, yeah, we can take out multiples of these guys at once, and I like that a lot, actually. Also, as some people have pointed out, the sounds of pillagers dying does sound kind of funny. They kind of go, hurrah, which is like the best sound effect. There we go. Such a funny sound effect. So while it does involve reloading the crossbow a whole bunch, and it's not as effective as single combat with a bow, I do think the crossbow has its merits. I'm starting to come around on these things, but it's never going to replace the bow in my permanent set of weapons. While I'm coming through here, by the way, I thought I should give you a quick update on my Nether Hub project, which I've been working on a little bit off camera, a little bit on live streams, and I've now started on putting up the larger, higher perimeter wall around the outside here, because this circle is pretty much cleared out of netherrack into the nether fortress that was here, and other obstructions, and in future we're going to start working on the design that's going to go down here, but for now I'm going to leave this place mainly untouched. I think we're probably going to introduce that in a video later on, but probably not this week. It might happen a little bit later. So keep an eye out for more progress on this as we go through the week, and who knows, you might start to see projects popping up here and there in the Nether Hub. For our next advancement, we do need to spend a couple of sleepless nights out here waiting for phantoms to spawn, because if you'll remember, the next advancement is to kill 2 phantoms with a single piercing arrow. Definitely easier said than done, and I think if we can't shoot them down from the sky or shoot them as they are flying towards us, which regularly they do in pairs, which is kind of terrifying, but it will work out for us, I think we probably need to try and figure out a smarter way of doing that, maybe by trapping them in minecarts or cobwebs or something like that, because it is possible to trap phantoms as they are swooping down to get you. However, while we are waiting for that to happen, because I did sleep last night, so I'll probably have to wait a couple more nights for phantoms to even start spawning, we're going to be working on our next method for the third advancement with crossbows, which is to shoot 4 individual different types of mobs with a single piercing arrow. Now, of course, that means you have to shoot a skeleton, a spider, a creeper, and a zombie, all with the same arrow or something like that. So that's going to be a bit of a tall order. However, we have a method that I've used before over here at the record farm for trapping individual mobs, specifically the 2-block high mobs like creepers, zombies, and skeletons. So in that respect, that is potentially going to be the easy part. And what I thought we would do is use part of this farm and build a second row of little cells like this so that we can potentially trap at least a zombie, a skeleton, and a creeper, because I don't want to sacrifice T-Bone Walker over here. He is my main man when it comes to getting records, but I think if we can lure a zombie in to a cell quite like this, like so, nice and easy, we can get ourselves a creeper in a cell here, we can get a skeleton behind that, and then maybe find some other kind of mob that we can use as a target, and that should be relatively straightforward. It should be quite simple to do. Maybe a witch would be a good target for the 4th one. I think we might try and get a witch. Anyway, if you guys have watched the episode about record farming, you should know the drill for these little stations here, but I'm going to give you a quick overview of it if you don't. Basically, in the ground here, we have 4 sticky pistons surrounding a redstone dust. They're all down underneath there, and the block on top of this has a pressure plate, which is going to activate the redstone dust, activating all of the pistons. Then 2 blocks up from that, we have this wood block here, which is going to stop the mobs from being able to walk out of this, because once they walk over the pressure plate, the wood blocks are going to rise up around them, and they are going to be unable to jump out and leave. Using a wooden pressure plate as opposed to an iron pressure plate or anything like that is probably going to be the best bet here, because occasionally the iron pressure plate, if they jump up and down, will release the pistons, allowing them to sort of jump their way out of the trap, but since a wooden pressure plate puts out a longer redstone pulse, that's not going to be an issue. So the best bet really is to make each of these traps out of wood. So we'll have one on this side, maybe with a creeper in it, one on this opposite side with a skeleton, and we are going to have to block the skeleton from shooting the other targets in the row trying to shoot us. So that might be a little bit more difficult than I'm imagining, but you never know. We could give it a try. I wonder if a baby zombie would count, or if that's just technically a variant of zombie and it wouldn't count as a separate mob. That'd be an interesting thing, but trapping them would be quite difficult anyway, so I think we'll probably just go with 4 different types. I've managed to trap a creeper and a zombie in here, and just so you can prove this is possible, let's shoot them both down the line like so with our piercing arrows. There we go. Now, you'll notice that each mob is going to have a different health bar. They're going to have different amounts of toughness, so we'll probably have to go through, give them a tap with a sword or something, and soften them up a little bit. Maybe a couple of weak shots with a bow or something like that, so that they are each ready to die in one hit, because I'm pretty sure the advancement requires you to kill each of the mobs with a single arrow instead of just shoot through all 4 of them. But we're going to need to have a few different mobs in here, and it was alright to kill the zombie and the creeper there, because as soon as I got a little way away, they would have despawned anyway. We're probably going to need name tags to keep them all in position while we go hunting for our third and fourth mobs. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'll try my best to capture a few of these guys, and we'll see if we can get that advancement before the phantoms arrive. Well, folks, the phantoms haven't shown themselves yet. It's been a couple of nights, and I think they're going to arrive tomorrow night, but in the meantime, I've done a little bit of research, and I have come up with a pretty decent solution to our problem, because as you can see here, we have 4 mobs, and one of them is a sheep, so that might be a bit of a surprise to you, but I was actually wrong in my earlier statements when I was saying that you need 4 mobs to do this. You actually need 5, but the stipulation is that they do not have to be hostile mobs. It's just 4 unique mobs of any kind, and that simplifies things for us as far as this challenge goes, because that means we can include passive mobs like this sheep here. In fact, you could have a whole variety of things. You could use a squid, a zombie, the wandering trader, a charged creeper, and the ender dragon if you wanted to, and as long as you could guarantee that they would all die within a single crossbow arrow, then you would probably be okay. Now, each of these has actually been damaged a little bit. I have hit them with a sword or an axe or punched them a couple of times with my fist, and I'm fairly certain that these will now all die of a single crossbow bolt. My fingers are firmly crossed on that score, because I can't imagine the amount of prep work I would have to do if I got some of this wrong. However, all I should need to do now is get a 5th entity, a 5th mob in here. And I think I know which one I'm going to use, because snow golems are also an entity. And of course they present a bit of a problem, because they will try and snowball any of the other hostile mobs in this area, where if there was a skeleton here, the skeleton would probably try and shoot back, not to mention trying to shoot at the player as well. If they snowballed a creeper that was nearby, the creeper could try and explode in self-defense, which is why I've left this stand on the end here open, just so that when we create a snow golem in this space, the zombies nearby are not going to be able to melee attack it, it's not going to be able to hit the creeper and stun the creeper or anything. So with any luck, we should be able to dispatch the snow golem and these other 4 mobs with a single crossbow arrow. Now, I am dubious about this. I'm not entirely certain if we're going to be able to do it first try, and it's going to be a really bad thing if we don't, but I will need to make sure that this snow golem can stay inside of here. So I'll probably need to set up another sticky piston above it once we place the pumpkin, just to make sure that nothing else goes wrong here. And of course, like a fool, I'm trying to do this at night, but I haven't name tagged the creeper. Both of the zombies here are holding items, so they're not going to despawn, and the sheep is a passive mob and he won't despawn in Java Edition, so hopefully we shouldn't have to worry too much about them, but the snow golem is a bit of an unknown quantity at this stage. So let me get a lever ready. Let me try and activate this piston as quickly as possible once the snow golem spawns in, because otherwise it's just going to be able to walk straight out of here. They don't have a particularly tall hitbox. I don't know if I can still summon a snow golem with all of these other blocks around, but I'm hoping I can. Yes, we did it. Okay, so now once we release the glass block on that creeper over there, yep, it's actually trying to snowball these other mobs, but don't worry, snowballs don't do damage to hostile mobs, so it should be fine if it hits one of these zombies a couple of times. We're going to open this up, and now we probably need to soften the snow golem a little bit, so I'm going to punch it a couple of times just to make sure it's down on health a little bit. 1, 2, 3. Oh gosh, that killed it. Alright, well let me go and grab some more snow. Now that we know that this works, let me see if I can make myself another snow golem. Dang it, I had to go and get another pumpkin and the creeper despawned while I was away, so I'm going to have to lure in another creeper. Are there any still left out here, or did they all just despawn? Oh, I think they did. Okay, well, I'm going to have to carve a pumpkin here, so let me grab my shears and... Oh, hello? Oh, it's a skeleton. Okay, well, that's probably not going to be ideal if it's going to try and shoot me from a distance through these other mobs, so I won't try and engage the skeleton and get him involved here, but yep. Okay, and it's raining and the snow golem dies instantly. Oh, this is so tough. This is actually way tougher than it sounds. And perhaps the worst part of it right now is that I can't sleep to get rid of the rain, because then the phantom counter resets and I end up having to go back. But no, we will try and contain the snow golem a little bit more. Okay, folks, I've got myself another creeper. I've softened him up using the bow, and I think now, if I can punch this snow golem once or twice, I think that should be okay. So we're going to have to fire a single shot down the line. This is going to be the most nerve-wracking thing I have done, and I think I'm going to get my camera account in for this. Okay, folks, I'm going to do my best. The phantoms are about to arrive. Let's see if we can fire this down the line and hit all of these mobs at once. Yes! Oh, we did it! Fantastic! Oh, I'm so happy with that. Guys, that took a long freaking time to assemble, and I'm so happy we managed to pull it off. Did you see that? That was immense. Okay, gonna switch back to the main account now. The phantoms are swirling above my head as we speak. That was freaking incredible. That was so incredible, in fact, that my game decided to crash when I was switching recording software, and I was terrified that the last autosave had been a few minutes ago and I would have to redo that whole thing, but thankfully we did it. We got ourselves the Arbalistic advancement for killing 5 unique mobs with 1 shot, and now all we have to do is kill 2 phantoms with a piercing arrow, and I will have completed all of the, at least the visible advancements in Minecraft. We still need to get How Did We Get Here at some point, and I would love to do that in future, but that's going to take a lot of preparation. So with that being the only advancement left, let's go try and kill some phantoms. Oh, and thank goodness the rain has stopped. I'm taking up all of the sticky pistons here, and it's nice to not have the rain interfering with the visibility of the sky and with mob sounds and so forth. Like, obviously you could turn down the weather if you wanted to, but yeah, like, it's actually nice to have a nice clear sky. I know I'm British and I'm supposed to be used to the rain, but in Minecraft I'm just like, nah, get rid of the rain. let me have some clear skies for a change. And I just casually got my first copy of Stull from a skeleton killing a creeper right outside of here, not even at the record farm. I tell you what, this is a great day for mobs getting shot with arrows. Okay, the sun is going down once again, night is falling, and we need to remember one of the rules of spawning phantoms is that you can't have blocks above your head. So I need to spend some time out here in the open. It can be as light as it wants on the surface though, and I feel like with the amount of mob hunting we've done around here recently, it's probably time to light this area up a little bit better. Mostly so I don't get too distracted by other mobs trying to attack me at night here while the phantoms are spawning above me and I'm trying to shoot them both with a crossbow. So let's do a little bit of torch spam around here just to clear up some of these darker spots, and hopefully we should start seeing some phantoms wheeling in the sky before long. Need to go and get myself a little bit more chicken as well, because I am nearly running out, and the chicken cooker is still producing a lot of feathers and not much else right now. We're definitely going to have to revisit that design in future. Aha, here we go, and a great example of how, yeah, we can actually hit 3 phantoms in a row, because they have a tendency to swoop in formation like that. Now let's see if we can get the angle right. Nope, okay, only hit 1 that time. This is the point at which things start to become a little random. They will spawn like this and then swoop down like so. Of course, we got to kill 2 of them at once, so it's going to be all about manipulating them into the right position and probably dodging around their attacks. But those 2 who just swoop down like that would be perfect. There we go. Yay! We did it. We even hit the 3rd one for a bonus. And wow, guys, that is a good feeling because we have now completed all the advancements that are at least on the surface level here, all of the vanilla advancements in Minecraft with those crossbow advancements done. Everything is yellowed out. Everything is done. This is so cool. All right. Well, in the grand scheme of things, I know that's my catchphrase right now, we will end up getting How Did We Get Here, which is definitely the offshoot of a Furious Cocktail, to have every single status effect in the game. And yes, we will do that at some point, but boy oh boy, it's going to be a challenge. So for now, I think we're going to call it a day here, or at least call it a night, maybe. Thank you so much for watching this episode of the Minecraft Survival Guide. My name has been Pixlriffs. Don't forget to leave a like on this episode if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you guys soon. Take care. Bye for now.